But I thought our kids played extremely hard. We really felt like we could come beat LSU tonight. We fell 3 points short, but give them all the credit because they found a way to win. And but we've got a good football team. We got a lot to work on. But I like this team. I think they fight, and I'm proud of their effort. I'm just not. None of us are happy with the result.
Adrian. Coach, were you surprised how the game played out? The first quarter being first half being such a defensive effort, and the second half just so much offense.
I think so a little bit, Trey, on both sides. I think going into it, the last 3 years, and that ironic, guys, another damn 3-point loss. And the bad thing is the Razorbacks are 1-3 and 1 win, 3 losses. But to answer your question, I felt like it's going to be a defensive game. I thought we could change coverages enough and I thought we could get some pressure, which I felt like we did early in the first half. And then, they did a really good job of blocking up our rush, and he was on. And a lot of times he didn't have to be on because we weren't covering him very good. And that's going to happen every now and then, but it happened too many times for us to win tonight. But I was a little surprised. And then the way that we came back and, we had some self-inflicted 5-yard penalties, 10-5 twice, and still to go down and score. That was really good resiliency for the line or for the offense, even though they made the mistakes to put us in that situation. But you can't watch the Hogs tonight and not be pleased with the effort and the fight that these kids had. We ran out of timeouts. We couldn't get a play called, couldn't get a play ran. I stood over the ball quite a length at times. And I ran out of timeouts at the end. Before somebody asked, did I think about letting them score? Yes, but I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have scored. We talked about it because I was out of timeouts. And then I decided to come all out and try to jar a fumble. So we went after them in those last plays. Could we have let them score? Absolutely. We talked about it. I thought our chances would be better off at that point with no timeouts, trying to jar it loose and or block or miss a field goal.
Sam, quarterbacks was a big storyline from the game. Yeah. How do you think KJ played? And then maybe if you can elaborate on Daniels, how come this guy like that?
Thought both of them played better as the game. I'm not talking for Coach Kelly, but I thought both of them played better as the game went on. Both of them made plays. Daniels made plays with his feet as well, especially in crucial situations. KJ did as well. But I thought as the game went on, both quarterbacks got in rhythm, and both of them were really hard to stop.
Sam, do you think that in the first half, not being able to push in,
I do. Hurt us. We got down there twice and came away with 6 points, and both of them, I think we had first down. I know one of them we had on the 5, and the other one I think was on the 8, and we weren't able to score and come away with 3. And then, when we faked the field goal down there, I thought we'd scored 2. I think we actually kicked a further field goal than what we faked. But I really thought we needed something to spark us at that point, and I thought it would, but it didn't work out.
Was that something you guys saw in the film tape that it would work, a fake field goal?
Yeah, it's the same one we ran to the left 2 years ago when we were here, but we ran it to the right. We felt like hopefully they wouldn't talk about a fake because they were worried about whether we were going to go for it or not, which we were, but we were just using it out of a field goal formation. So Max did a nice job, and they blocked it up real nice. We just didn't get any more points out of that than if we just would have kicked it.
Coach, you've been talking about the offensive line has been a topic of conversation for a while. And you talked about lack of push.
Yeah.
A few weeks tonight, looked like you got pushed.
Yeah, I thought, we couldn't hold up. Well, there's a sack or maybe two that I felt like we had plenty. Dominique came over, but we just couldn't get anybody open. We kind of held the ball for a little bit. KJ's trying to make a play. But I thought they got good push. I thought our dub was huge tonight. I mean, he made some really good runs. Obviously, Luke is a ball playing son of a gun. But I thought Dominique really showed his toughness, his grit, and ability to make people miss tonight. I don't think there's any doubt that LSU has a really, really good football team. I just wish we'd have had three more than they did. But I think there was a lot of good things that we saw. Obviously, we still got to clean up the penalties. But other than that, I think we fought our butt off, to be honest with you, against what I think is one of the better teams we'll play this year.
Sam, I know it's not the outcome you want, but considering how things went last week to play LSU, right to Death Valley, what positives can take this moving forward in there?
I told the team after the game, we're in the SEC. It's a hard league and everybody's good, but I think LSU is one of the elite teams of this league, and played toe to toe at night with them on the road. Now they may have played well, they may not have played. I don't know. I don't know what Coach Kelly thinks of how they played, but we wanted to fight. We went in there fighting, and we just came up short. But there are some positives that you can take from it. That we scored 31 points on what I think is a good defense. If you look last week against Mississippi State, they just weren't able to do it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of positives. You believe you can win several games and things of that nature after a performance of tonight. We just got to clean up the penalties, like I said last week. But the effort has always been there this year. I thought we played a good half on defense, or a good almost a half on defense. And we got to get some things figured out defensively because we didn't stop in the second half.
You talked about the quick snaps and staying with the is that more LSU the atmosphere, or is it more coming from?
Well, the atmosphere certainly has something to do with it. I mean, you'd be a fool, not to think that it did. But we had some checks in, obviously, for depending on what front they were in. And we just weren't getting set fast enough. And the clock was fast tonight. I mean, and they were standing over it. And then we subbed. And when we subbed, they stood over it again, and we got in trouble. And so we ended up we quit substitute during that live ball drive. And but no, it's our fault. It's nobody's fault. The crowd did play a part of it, and they did exactly what we thought they was going to do. We thought they was going to stem because it's loud, and we worked on it, and evidently got to come up with some other way to get that handled.
So, do you feel like if you get this down tonight, there are going to be some wins?
Oh yeah, I believe we're going to win the rest of them. And I mean, we may not, but we got a good football team, and I think LSU is a good football team. I thought that coming in. I mean, they're a good team, and but yeah, I believe we've got a good football team. I think they'll bounce back next week, and we know we got a really good team in A&M. They had a big win today, but we can go win football games, yes.
So I know by his standards, KJ had a bit of an off game last week. I just think he bounced back tonight. What did he do real well?
I thought he threw the ball better. He obviously made some plays with his feet. Then they called some really good read plays with him, reading the 3 technique, reading the nose guard. And he made some good runs off of that. He pushed a pile forward several times. on third down, or a few times on third down to get first downs. He was competitive, and I think he came in wanting to show the world that he was a good quarterback as well as Daniels, and I think people think that. So we're just disappointed that we couldn't finish out the game.
Coach, that wide receiver trio.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we needed to play Broden more, and that was a way to get him out there, but we had to move Tesla to slot. We felt like Broden had caught that touchdown pass in the corner to go up 13-3. We thought, he's got experience, but we just hadn't got him on the field enough to kind of get in rhythm. So we felt like, let's get him in early. But I think he gives us a tall weapon, and I think Tesla did a nice job at slot as well. Luke Has is really a valuable football player to us as well, and did some wonderful things.
Is there anything specific changed from first half to second half with the defensive line, or not being any pressure on Daniels?
No, and I didn't see him do a whole lot different in protections. They ran the ball more in the second half than they did in the first half, and that may have took some of that rush off of us. You know what I mean? But they ran the ball well. They kicked us pretty hard there on the first drive. The guy went for about 40 on a run on us. And I think their ability to run the ball slowed our pass rush down a little bit. And, Coach Davis, their line coach over there, and he's a good football coach, and they did a good job of adjusting, so we couldn't get pressure, and their backs blocked well too.
Just looking back, how tough was that last defensive possession in the first half?
Well, I don't think it took but about 18 seconds, I think. I think we kicked off with 48 and they scored with 30, if I'm correct. It was hard. And I think in that possession, I don't quote me on this, but I believe we played two zones and a man, and the man he run by us. But we went in knowing we were going to have to play some man, trying to get to the quarterback, trying to get an extra edge out there so he wouldn't run on us and things. But yeah, looking back, going in 13-3 versus 13-10. Yeah, big difference. I think our kids bounced back from that pretty fast. You know what I mean? And then they came out and got the ball and went down and scored and, put us in a jam. We were playing catch up, a little bit the rest of the game.
And one more on Luke, his first game as a true freshman, he wrote a Death Valley, whatever. How do you think he played that moment?
Thought he was really, he jumped off once or twice offsides. It's different when you're on the ball and when you're off the ball. And we evidently didn't give them tight ends enough look of movement, pre-snap movement on the ball. I know we gave a lot during practice, but I don't know. I'll have to go back and look to see how many I felt like we gave them on the football. Because there's a difference when a guy's moving from you to I than if you're, back another 3 to 4 foot. But I think he played outstanding.
Coach, appreciate you.
All right, guys.